Right, we are live. Oh my goodness, this is the first live I have done, a joint live since the end of last year. Let me just turn my music off. Sorry about that. So this is the first live that I have done of this year, combined with the beautiful Leanne who has just jumped on, and I will invite you in 2 seconds. So yeah, actually, I'm just going to invite you now because then I can formally introduce you instead of doing all the pre-stuff while you're watching. Anyway, so give me 2 seconds. Add. With any luck, my Wi-Fi today is going to be nicer than what it has been. Adding, connecting.
Woo! Yay, it worked. I had to put my phone. It was like, turn your phone. So I've just done that. There we go.
Oh. I haven't done one of these for a while combined, and how much have they upgraded the whole joint Facebook Live thing?
I know, this is great. This looks good.
I know.
I love it.
Excellent. Right. Well, I know that there are a few people that are going to be jumping on who have RSVP'd to our amazing event, but I'm going to get started because we all know that I love a good talk, and I know that you've got appointments after this, so we can't go over time.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, thank you so much for coming on today with me to share your entrepreneurial journey with all of the beautiful women in this group. So this group, which is launched to Legacy, has got a combination of women who are on the verge of startup and they're kind of in that discovery phase, right up to, I know that there are some amazing women in here that are really scaling their business and achieving some absolutely epic results. We've got a little bit of a mixed bag. But I guess in terms of what I love is helping get those women out of the discovery phase and into taking action and all of the scary stuff, because that's where the magic happens. So as you know, we're going to spend a bit of time talking about that today. Alice and Missy, thank you so much for jumping on. But first and foremost, to introduce you. So for these lovely ladies, Leanne is the creator of Mind Over Muffin. An intuitive eating coach, and essentially just really working with women and some men as well to be able to, I guess, be in touch with what it is that they are eating, and, you know, not counting calories and not having shakes all the time and not running millions of marathons and all of that stuff, and really just, I guess, tapping into what our intuition is saying. I know before that she had different business, which she'll absolutely be able to share with you as well, maybe. And I'm very, very lucky to say that Leanne is one of my beautiful friends, and I'm so excited to have you here with us sharing the story. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
That's all right.
And hi,
so
someone
first
saying
and foremost, I guess, you know, I really wanted to kind of start off and share with these beautiful women. So where, you know, how you kind of started Mind Over Muffin, and the challenge that you kind of, just the original like challenges, you know, leading up to, am I going to do this? Am I not? Like what that whole kind of journey looks like for you. Yeah. What does that look like?
Absolutely. So like most people, I guess this is the kind of common way we get into business, is we go through like a big change ourselves. Like we've gone from struggling at some point to, you know, getting a breakthrough, and we're like, oh, I have to share this with other people, you know, other people need to know this stuff. So that was very much my journey. I struggled with weight loss and emotional eating for years, and I was just up and down, up and down, up and down all the time. Like I'd lose a bit of weight, I put it back on, lose weight, put it back on. Could not for the life of me stop this emotional eating habit that I had, and it just took over everything. I hit a really low point in my life, and then came to realize actually it was nothing to do with the food. It was all to do with the emotions and experiences and events that had gone on in my past. I'd been in a relationship that wasn't, you know, very good for me and didn't end very well, and had all this emotion that I hadn't dealt with from that. And so that's kind of what I stored up, and was making me want to eat. You know, we will find something to fill that void or squash that emotion down. And for me, it was food. Some people it's alcohol, some people it's cigarettes, social media, I don't know, binge watching TV. It doesn't matter what it is, but we'll find something. My thing was food. So my big breakthrough came when I started to work on me. So I dealt with the emotion. I did all this kind of emotional clearing that I didn't even know was a thing at the time. And people started talking to me about mindset. I was like, what on earth is your mindset? So that's kind of like, what is this? But it honestly changed my life. Like it helped me stop the emotional eating. I lost the weight and it stayed off ever since without me really having to do much about it. And so for me, that was my big wake up call of there's something bigger going on here. So that's what formed the idea of Mind Over Muffin. It was, I want to get into helping women with this inner stuff, so they can, you know, make the changes. And then for me, in terms of business, getting into business, I obviously had this idea. I was like, right, I want to help women do this thing. And then I'm like, how am I going to do that? Like, how do I get this message out there? Like, how do I help them? So obviously went and did some training in what someone had taken me through, which was NLP based and hypnotherapy, life coaching. But then, yeah, I guess the biggest challenge for me was obviously the how. Like, how am I gonna, like, how do I actually get this out to people? I know at the beginning I started working, I'd actually just moved over to Australia. I was working in a restaurant at the time, and then I just rented a room in a health centre, and so started seeing clients one-to-one, and that was like just in dribs and drabs. It wasn't like flowing a lot at the beginning, but it was kind of for me to build my confidence. It was a great place to start one-to-one and, you know, getting to work with people, and then just slowly over time. So that would have been, I reckon, 4 years ago I started doing that, and then maybe a little bit longer now actually. I forget what age I am sometimes. So time's going so quick. So yes, that was the transition. I started doing that, and then, you know, I think I just saw something on Facebook one day, as you do, this whole online world, you know, create an online program. And I was like, because once the, you know, the clinics started getting busier, I was like, well, I can only do so much here, you know, there's only so many hours in a day, and I want to be able to reach more people. And so that's when I got into the whole online stuff. But again, that then came with the challenges of all the tech side of it, but then also being really visible and knowing that you have to be the face of your business and people are buying you, which is a wonderful concept, but it's a very scary concept as well. You know, when people are like, but people are buying you, not your product. And you're like, oh my God, so if someone says no to me, they're saying no to me, you know, and all this kind of fear of rejection and fear of being seen, fear of being visible comes up. I think for me as well, I had a lot of money mindset things I hadn't dealt with from the past, you know, like conditioning from being a kid of whether it's okay to have money and take money from people was a big thing. I always felt like I was taking money from people instead of, you know, people want to give me money to work with me. So loads of things like that came up. But I think the biggest thing for me was that kind of, I remember the first time ever trying to make a video, and it was just awful. It was absolutely awful. Like, whereas now I've just got more comfortable with it and I find a video. But at the beginning there was so many fears there. So I've gone off on a massive tangent. I can't remember what your question was, Lou.
Just how you got started, and I guess, you know, those initial challenges, because, you know, you've just kind of like hit the nail on the head. I've actually been talking to some women over the last couple of days who are in that space of, I want to do this, but what if I don't know what I'm doing, which we never know what we're doing, and you just got to get good with that. What if I don't know enough? How, like, I have to now, like, I don't want to be shown on social media. Like, I want to do something, but I don't want to show up on social media. And like, are people actually going to invest in what it is that I have to offer? Which I think you've kind of hit on there, is that they are all very real, and they are all things that we all go through. You either just decide to not listen to it and go for it, or continue to sit there and not do anything.
Absolutely. And it never goes away. Like, really, like, you're going to get more comfortable. Like, for example, the video thing, that terrified me at the beginning, and now it's fine. I can hop on video, don't give it a thought. But every time you're taking a step up a level, there's going to be new things, you know, and the new things are going to feel scary and they're going to, you know, challenge you. So I really believe that the people who don't make it in business are the people that just like haven't learned to become friends with fear. Like I really think that's all it is. You've just got to get comfortable with it and go, cool, it's going to be along for the ride. So I know every time I'm feeling that bit of fear again, I know I'm going to a new level, which I really like that concept. And I don't know who it was that said this quote, but that whole new levels, new devils. The dustbin men are going by in the background. Sorry, it's going to be loud for a moment. But it's really noisy. So yeah, they talk about how like every new level you go to, there it is, you're gonna, there's gonna be a new devil there, and you've just got to learn to kind of just make peace with it and go, okay, cool, there's a bit of fear, but let's go. Let's just make it happen.
Yeah, I love that. Go dance with the devil. I think there's a quote out there about that too. So
is that, yeah,
some people will probably use in other areas of life, but you can use it in business too, right? Because that devil is just your voice holding you back, and that's relatable across so many areas, you know, eating and business and I don't know, any health and whatever else. So no, that's really cool. So Mind Over Muffin has been around for what, 2 years ago since you've launched this part of the business? Yeah. So obviously you took the gigantic step and went, right, I'm just going to put myself out there and we just see what happens. And you started overcoming those little fears, which if you're like me, I look back on now and go, God, I would do anything for that fear of just jumping on video.
Yes.
So once you got started, what was the next kind of challenge that you kind of faced?
I reckon, like personally or tech stuff or just in me?
Let's start with you personally, because I think that, you know, like obviously life comes up and then there's some business stuff too that kind of comes up that we can expect.
Yeah. So I reckon there's a couple of things. Definitely the whole, you know, you're growing this business, so that's where all your focus and energy goes. And in a way, other things start to slip. You know, we've got so many areas of life that do need focus if we want them to keep growing. And I know my self-care slipped, which was crazy because that's something that I teach my ladies. You know, it's number one, self-care, self-love. And so I wasn't doing that to the extent I was before because all my energy and focus was going into business stuff. And, you know, you get very easily caught in that push, go, go, go. You know, a lot of coaches out there, like business coaches, will teach you have to push, you have to hustle, you have to, you know, and for me, that's just an energy that didn't work. And it took me, like, I'd say the best part of last year to realize that isn't how I want to work, you know, and that's okay. I've learnt my lesson. I'm not going to do that again. So as Lou knows, we had chats about this on the beach when you're over, like it is, you can do business your way. And that's been a massive lesson for me. And now, you know, it doesn't work for me to jump up out of bed and be straight on to work in the morning. Like it's just, you know, I like to do my own thing for a while and just flow. So I think that was the number one thing. Like the first challenge I faced was, cool, I'm doing all this stuff and business is growing, and it paid off. Like it really did grow, but my health and my self-care went down, and so that's a bigger focus for me now. And what was the other thing? So will you remind me of the question again, Lee? Just forget so easy. I go off on tangents.
It's that growth phase. Like, you know, and you've kind of
growth
started in the first one. So yeah, you know, like you've gotten started and you're out there and you probably pick up a couple of clients. And as you said, first and foremost, life happens and we throw that out the door. I've been there, ticked that box, learnt that lesson too. And then in business, like, is there anything specifically that you were super challenged by in the beginning of the growth phase?
I would say just learning to manage everything, because, you know, you get into business, like I got into business because I wanted to help the women who were going through what I went through. I wanted to help them have the breakthrough I did and be free of that stuff. But then suddenly it was like, right, I've got to get my message out there. I've got to market. I've got to manage the clients I have. I've got to, I don't know, do contracts and post on Facebook and do Instagram and do all this stuff and make videos. And like, there's, you know, so I think from the business side of things, it was more learning how to manage everything, which I think in your first year or two, when you might not have the resources to outsource and things like that, and you have got to be on top of everything. And so it's just learning to do that again, not at the detriment to your health and other areas. Relationships, I know it definitely created a wobble in my relationship because both of us were so business focused, both growing a business at the same time. So it's really important that throughout any growth or any, especially those first few years, I would say it's just learning to manage everything and organize your time and make sure that you're not neglecting other areas of life, because the minute you do that, you're going to start putting so much pressure on the business and you will feel unfulfilled. If your relationships aren't thriving, your health isn't thriving, your social life, I don't know, any area, then it's going to have an impact and business will feel harder. So that will be my biggest lesson through everything. It's just making sure it's not, you can't just focus only on business. You have to bring everything else in.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And Missy, for us is on. If you've got any questions, then please don't hesitate to drop them below, because obviously, I want you to extract whatever you need out of, Leanne as well. So, cool. Okay, so we've spoken about some of the challenges. You've already mentioned it before. We had some great chats about, that big chunk of the journey, which is massive, because it really does impact not only your business, but also your life. And as entrepreneurs, we create this for a life and somehow we lose it along the way. But obviously it's a lesson that we learn and we get to recalibrate and go, right, now let's move forward again. So tell us all about the fun parts, because starting a business and growing a business is super challenging. So what do you love most about, what you've done and what you do and everything like that?
So I was actually thinking about this recently with the whole, it's very easy when you're going through the harder times to get focused on all the things that maybe aren't working. But when you actually take some time, and this should be done regularly, right from the beginning. I wish someone had told me this, to every step of the way, appreciate all the positives of running a business, because I get to get up, I will have breakfast, I take the dog for a walk, I get to do my thing, I might go to Pilates, and then I'll do some sit down and create some stuff, or get to work with amazing women and help them get the breakthroughs. And then when you're getting messages from your clients of the difference that they're the different the breakthroughs they're having and how good they're feeling, and I think I don't know, you take it for granted, and not having to ask for time off, not having to ask for holiday and things like that. And I don't know, just even the other week I drove down to the city, sat in rush hour traffic, and I was like, whoa, I just couldn't do this every day. The simple little things that you just take for granted that you can. I know the whole laptop lifestyle thing is maybe a little bit easier said than done, and there's definitely up to the perfecting travel and work, but it's true, you can literally pick up your laptop and you can go, and you get to, the thing I love the most is you're creating your dream and your vision. And so I think as long as you're aligned with that and know where you're going and what you want, I don't know, there's no limit, it is possible for you to create whatever you want to create. And the only thing that's going to stop you is you, and you can work on you. So I always say, setting up a business is going to be the biggest personal development journey you ever do. Every step of the way is going to be stuff to work on and to look at and to overcome. But if you can just be okay with that and know that as you work through those things, you're going to keep growing, you're going to create something amazing. And I think it's just believing in yourself that you can. I think that's, another thing that a lot of women struggle with, is just knowing that they can do it, and actually giving yourself a pep talk sometimes, come on, I've got this, it's going to be okay. But yeah, I think that answers the question.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I'm glad, Missy, that you're getting loads of value out of this. That's perfect. What else do I want to know? I guess I have also been talking to some women lately around, it's actually really interesting. So they've started their businesses and they're low on cash flow. So they've seen out there that Facebook ads are the be-all, end-all to creating a laptop lifestyle. And their questions have been, right, I'm not making any money. I've got a tiny bit of money left. I'm going to invest it in more Facebook ads and cross my fingers that that turns my business around. And I guess I'm interested what your thoughts are on that. I've got my own thoughts. I'm happy to rant about it all day long. But as a business owner, we've all been in the position where we've got no money and we're going, well, how do we turn this around? So what are your views on investing it externally and in places like Facebook ads and Instagram ads and all the other places?
Okay, so I have done both sides of this, and I think when it comes to marketing, you can either invest your time or you can invest money. So if you don't have the money right now, you invest your time. And if you're prepared to invest your time, you can make amazing connections online. You know, I sold out a group program with no Facebook ads, absolutely no Facebook ads, when I didn't have the money to invest in marketing. I also hadn't done enough research or got to know specifically what my clients needed, which takes a while. You know, that's taken me a good, you know, even couple of years of working with people to really refine my message. And that doesn't mean you need to wait a couple of years to have a message and put it out there, not at all, but it just means over time it's going to get more refined and you're going to know how to specifically speak to your clients, you know. So it was only at that point when I started to invest in paid marketing, but I did work with someone as well who, you know, just knew how to do that specifically, because I didn't know enough. I didn't know, you know, how to do that, and I'd just be literally wasting money. You know, the Facebook ads are amazing when they work and you get it right. They really are, and they help me grow, you know, a lot. But it's one of those things. If you're not getting it right, and there's a lot of elements to it, then it is a waste of money. And if you're in a position where you're going to put pressure on yourself, financially, you cannot create from that space. It's very hard. Well, you can, but it's very hard, and it's more of like there's a need and a pressure and a desperation to make it happen, as opposed to you feeling abundant and like you have the money there, and then like that's such a different energy, isn't it? So I think if you're in the position where the money isn't there, just know that you can invest time, you can invest money. Pick the time option right now. Invest your time. And how I did it was Facebook Lives every day. I was doing, you know, series of videos. I was posting, I was emailing, I was, you know, just building connections with people, giving away like freebies, like free meditations, and saying like, comment below if you want a copy of this, and you send that to the person, you build that connection. Although I think is it ManyChat you can do that with now? I'm not sure what it's called. Messenger thing, you know. But
it messages for you.
Yeah, exactly. So they've, you know, caught onto that, which is great. But I think a lot of people put themselves under pressure to think, right, I need all these big funnels in place. I need ads. I need these funnel systems. I need all this stuff. But I know from experience that even if the funnel is amazing, if your energy and your alignment isn't there, it's not going to work anyway. So yes, the funnels and the systems will support you, but it's all about you. So if you're putting yourself under money pressure, you're not going to be in the right energy and alignment to make it happen anyway. So I would say the most important thing is look at what is best for you. And there's coaches out there that will tell you, just get a credit card, this and that, and put, you know, 10K of ads on there and we'll get the money coming in. And, you know, some people work under that pressure. If that was me, I would crumble. Like I couldn't deal with the thought of, you know, it just wouldn't work for me. So it depends, you know, how you feel about that person as well. But, you know, I think, yeah, my opinion is there's time and money you can invest. So go for the time option right now. But when you're ready and you've got a few clients coming in and you've got a bit of money, go for it. Like, have a workout of what your clients like. It's really important, and I'm sure you cover this, Lou, but like getting the language so right when it comes to marketing. Like I used to talk about heal your relationship with food and stop the yo-yo diets. It didn't get any traction really, a little bit, but not much. Now I talk about crush emotional eating and love what you see in the mirror. It's like hitting on the pain points, and it's hitting on the relatable things. That's what women do. They look in the mirror and they beat themselves up. Whereas before I'm talking about heal your relationship with food. No one cares about that. I don't care if they heal their relationship with food. I just want to look good and feel good. And, you know, so it's like make sure the messaging's right. And when you know that's right, test it with your audience, you know, just if you've got a Facebook group, you've got people you can ask, actually ask them what resonates with you more. And then put some money into advertising. But again, it doesn't have to be loads. You can start out with, you know, $5 a day for a week and just see what gets traction. So, but Facebook is an amazing platform to reach more people and, you know, gain a bigger audience. But when you're ready and you have the resources, would be my opinion on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And I've been down the path of, right, just use all your money and invest it into Facebook. And obviously, did I get there in the end? Yes. But the pressure was gigantic. And in my experience, for anyone that watches this, because I actually talk to people all the time that are willing to invest their last cents or throw away their business. And to me, it's like, you've got to be in this for the long haul. And if you're going to run out of cash because you don't know what you're doing in one area, you've got to rethink, right, how do I get money so I can keep trying or find someone to help me? And, you know, for me, I invested, nearly $7,000 in Facebook ads until I finally worked it out. And that was working with someone to find the language that I needed to be able to talk to my target audience. And even then, I had to find the connection as well. And then by the time I broke through, I'd lost all the fun in my actual business because all the pressure had been piled in. And it was like, oh, well, it's great that I know that skill and I can absolutely coach people in it. But if I had my time again and that was the be-all, end-all to this lifestyle and that business, like I would absolutely be going, right, how do I invest more time in this? So,
yeah.
So I'm mindful of time. I've got no idea what the time is because obviously I have it on my phone.
I'm all good. It's about 5 past, so we're good.
Oh, perfect. What else? I guess what I love to know about, I did have a question and now I have forgotten what it is.
I was going to say one more thing about marketing when you were just speaking and I've lost it.
Oh.
Gone. But that might come back to me.
Someone stole our thoughts. What else? I guess what would what would be some advice that you would give to women in that startup space that it's got to, again, I talk to women who are like, this is just too hard and I'm going to walk away, or they're on the verge of it. And obviously I'm very lucky. I work with some of my clients, I've worked with them to turn that around. So for the women in here who maybe are at that point, they're not seeing a return on their investment, you know, they're struggling with the balance, they've resonated that their health is going backwards, you know, all the things that happen when you're being challenged. What would be some advice from you to go, right, this is how you keep on going? Just go one more round and this would be what I recommend.
Yeah, so I'd say number one, you've got to be working on you. So have, you know, the times where I've had sold out my programs or had the biggest growth is when I'm so connected to what I want to create. And it's just one thing. It might be, right, I want 15 people in this group, for example. Or it might be a money goal, or it might be some, you know, whatever you want the focus to be. But sometimes we not want too much, but we focus on too much. So if there's something you want to go for, like just get focused on that one thing, right? I'm just going to go for this right now. So you have to be working on you. And I think it's also really important that, I don't know if you guys have seen that image. I have to see if I can find it and share it in the group. If not, but where there's like a guy and he's got the pickaxe and he's just chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. And he's like chipped out this massive like hole in the ball, or I don't know, whatever he's going through. And the gold is right there. But he, like, if he gives up any minute, he's not going to reach it. But he's done all that work. And it's kind of like that. It's like that whole, if you're in it for the long run and your message is important to you, that will be the driver to keep you going. If you're more money focused and you want the quick short-term gains of it, then it's not going to last that long. So I'd say really get connected to what you're in it for, and why you're doing what you do, because that will be the thing that will keep you going. But also just know, like, when it comes to, I think the comparison thing is really hard, because we see, you know, especially, you know, with coaches and things like that, when they're talking about these 50k months, 100k months, and walking around with all their designer stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want designer handbags, go for it. But it's so important that you can just step out of that and go, I'm on my journey, and there's no mad pressure. You know, I can just take it step by step. I know I'm on the journey. I found I got very caught in this whole comparison thing when I first started. Of, oh my God, why haven't I had a 100K month? You're not going to go from making nothing in a business to 100K in a month. Like, well, you might do, but you know, the chances are probably not. You've got to progress mentally and emotionally, and you know, get all the systems in place or whatever. But I think it's just taking it steady and knowing you're on your journey, and that's okay to do it your way. But I just say, just keep going. Like for me, when I moved into the online stuff, it took a good few months of putting content out and videos, to the point where I was a bit like, never gonna make this work, it's not gonna happen, you know. But I've just kept going, and eventually there's people are always watching. You never know who is watching, even if you're not getting comments, or you're not, you know, getting people just buying your stuff like that. Because a lot of people think, oh, I put out a post about my program, why has no one bought anything? You know, why haven't I had 10 people sign up? It just doesn't work like that. Like, especially in the fast pace of social media now. Yeah, if only, exactly. Like, there's so much stuff on Facebook, and so, you know, people are just scrolling. And what's the thing? People are not on Facebook to buy; they're on Facebook to be entertained, for example. So it's like you've just got to learn to grab people and start just being you. Just show your expertise, show your skills, show who you are, and connect with people in that way. And yeah, just keep going, just keep putting it out there. And if you're doing it for the fact that you love it, that will be easy. If you're doing it from a state of desperation because you need money, it's going to be a very different energy, and people are going to feel that. And you know, even when you get to the point of doing sales calls and stuff, for you just connecting with people, they're going to feel the energy that you're giving off. So if you're in a space of abundance and I'm just here to help you and show you how you can get this solution, like, it's a completely different energy. So I think it really all comes back to managing you, but then just keep going, you know, set yourself up with some morning practices that get you aligned with your vision and why you're doing what you're doing. A thing that I did for a while was really nice, like, messages I had from clients. I had them on my vision board, you know, just to remind me of, this is why I'm doing it, you know. So it's so easy to get caught up in the business stuff that you didn't actually sign up for. You just want to help people. So little things like that, just to kind of keep you going, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. Hey Phoebes, thanks for jumping on. And I guess my final part is that you have recently launched the Mind Over Muffin membership program. And I would love to hear all about it. Obviously, you know, you're welcome to share as well your actual a 3-month program, 12-week program.
Yeah. I have a couple. So I have
and then you've got your
so we have a couple of options. I run a 3-month group program for women who are looking to really learn how to overcome any emotional eating, get back in tune with their body, learn how to, you know, just do it. Oh, did I cut off then? I think my phone started ringing.
No.
Sorry, guys. Good, perfect. Just learn how to get back in tune with their body and work on their emotions and fulfill themselves internally, so they don't need food to fill that void. We run a 3-month group program. We're actually launching one towards the end of May, so there's going to be a group running then. But in terms of the monthly, Mind Over Muffin monthly, that is our rolling monthly membership. And every month there's a new training that I deliver. We have meditations, because we're all about mindfulness, making sure you're being more calm, more present, more mindful, which will then show up in your eating habits. Just some really cool tools and lots of support, accountability. And that's really simple. So you're welcome to come and join us for a month, see if you like it. And then it just rolls over. And you can stay there as long as you like, or as short as you like. And that's it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, perfect. Do you have a link that you could share for everyone so that they could check it out if they're interested in discovering more about it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
I will pop that in the comments below.
Yeah,
Thanks,
awesome. So cool. Well, I could sit here and talk absolutely all day, but I know that you have got lots on, and I should probably do some work as well. So, yeah, thank you so much for jumping on. I guess we spoke a lot about this when I was over in Perth. I can't believe it's over a week ago since I've been back. And I really I know, it's crazy. I really love everything that you talk about in business and in health and relationships, and because I too, for everyone that listens to me harp on about this, that there is the golden triangle, and when you can balance the three of them, magic happens. And I believe that is when we truly live an aligned, authentic life, as opposed to all in one area and missing out on everything else. So so thanks so much for jumping on and sharing your journey and your challenges and why it's worth it, because I think that when we're challenged, we often forget why we started in the first place, and the really cool strategies that you kind of shared in terms of what you're doing. So I will let you get back to your wonderful day over there in Perth. And if anyone who watches the recording of this has got any questions, make sure you fire them down below. We're still happy to answer anything. So otherwise, I hope everyone's got some awesome value out of this. And I will talk to everyone later.
Okay, thanks for having me here, Lou. Thanks for watching, ladies. Bye.
Bye.